Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a guide on module scripts and some practical uses you can use in your game. Other than that, let's just get straight into it. First thing I'm going to do is head over to my server script service here and create a script. We'll be using this to actually require or like run our module script. So I'm just going to call this server because that's what I normally do. And we'll leave this empty for now and we'll get back to it. After that, we can create our module script and let's just get straight into using our module script. Now, how this works is a module script is always going to return something. By default, it's going to return this empty table here. So I'll show you what that means. So let's say we made a variable here called our module and we wrote require, and that's how we actually use our module scripts. If we write just script.module script, it's going to use the one right here. So from there, if we just print module, you can see what happens, and we click play. And as you see, it just returns an empty table. Now, a lot of times people use this to make frameworks or modular systems, and I'll get to that a bit later, but for now, I'm just going to put some data within our table. So let's rename our module script to something like weapons. Let's say we want to get some data about weapons. I'm going to change that in our variable here as well. From here, we can write whatever we want in it. So let's just change this to weapons as well, so it makes sense. I'm going to do it capitalized here. Weapons, and then we're going to return weapons here. Now, you could just directly return a table as well. That would work. But for example's sake, I'm just going to use the default one up here. From there, we can do something like, let's say wooden sword underscore wooden sword equals, and then another table. And then from there we can do things like damage equals 100, swing speed equals, let's say, every 1 second, and let's say it cost, let's say price equals 50. From there, if we go back to here, we can actually print our weapons. So let's just name this variable weapons as well, and this down here. And as we did like earlier, it's going to return us our table. So now you can see our table here on the left. We have the wooden sword, price, damage, swing speed, all that type of stuff. So now we can actually go into our weapons table and get out data from it. So if we write .wooden sword, it's only going to give us data about the wooden sword. As you can see here, it gives us the data about that wooden sword. So what we can do, we can expand upon this and add, let's say, a stone sword and do the exact same thing. So let's just copy this over and let's change the name here, so stone sword, and let's say the damage is a bit higher, the swing speed's a bit slower, and the price is double. Now we've got our stone sword, we can actually go through it. So let's say we did a pairs loop here, so for IV in pairs weapons do, we can now get the data for each weapon. So let's write print V, and that's going to print out each sword here separately. So you can see here we've got our wooden sword first, and then our stone sword here, and we can even go into that even more. So let's say we did we want to get the sword name, so we write print, or sorry, not sword, let's say the damage. Let's write I and then dot dot, so we can add on to it damage is, and then we can add v dot damage, because that's the variable name here. So v.damage, or the value, sorry. We click play here. It's going to print out stone sword's damage is 150, wooden sword's damage is 100. Now, that's a very basic way you can use module scripts. We can do much more with them. We can make actual systems with them, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So let's say we want to make a system that handles parts for us, for example. So let's make a module called part handler, and I'm gonna just create an entire new module script here. So let's create a module script, name this part handler, and then same with our variables here. So part handler equals, should be capitalized, part handler equals require, and let's write script dot part handler. Now we got our part handler, we can do anything we want with it. So if we want to add functions to our module, we could do that. So you can write function, and we refer to our part handler here, and then we can do something like create part. Actually, let's just do change color, and change color. and then we can put in the part here, and then we can pass in the color of it we want to change to, and then we can do something as simple as like part dot color equals color. And then back in our module here, we can use that, so we can do, let's say we have a part in our game, let's say the base plate, so let's make a variable for our base plate, local base plate equals workspace dot base plate. From there we can do part handler, and then we can do, was it? Yes, and then change color, and then we can pass our base plate in there, and then the color we want to change to, so from RGB, let's say 25500, which is red. We click play now, and now our module will handle that for us. We can do much more complicated things, maybe function, part handler, let's say tween position, and we get the part in there, and then the end position. We can now do a module like that. So let's say we need our tween position here, so tween service, tween service equals game, get service, tween service. Now we've got that, we can actually tween our part. So let's write tween service create, and then let's do our part, and then let's do our tween info, so tween info.new. I'm not going to do something crazy, I'm just going to do, let's actually just add time in here as well. So let's write time, or tween time. Let's add that into here, tween time, and then position equals end position, and then we can play back. And then now in here we can add that, so we can write part handler, tween position, base plate, let's say 2 seconds, and we want to move it to vector3.new, and what's its current position? It is at there. Okay, so let's do 100 by -8 by 100. Let's make this much longer. Let's do this like 15 seconds. We click play now, and now that's what we're gonna do our tween for us. So we click play here, and as you can see, our base plate is moving towards this direction, which was 100 by 100. Now, it's not always just one line. You can add multiple things onto this. You can do as many lines as you really want. If I added a bunch of prints here, like so, it is automatically going to run all these lines, and that would be a better use case for modules, is if you have some giant system and you want to just push everything into one line, kind of like a function. That's what you can do, and you can use it externally, and that's module scripts. If this video helped you out, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers as quick as possible, and other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you.